Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're back with our deck profiles and a gameplay, and today's video will feature Rapid Strike URSHIFU VMAX with Rapid Strike INTELEON VMAX, a Rapid Strike box deck of sorts. Now I did go over this deck over in my Hidden Gems video over here in case you want to take a look at that. It's the previous video on my channel. I went over Rapid Strike URSHIFU VMAX, Zork V-Star, and Dialga V-Star as potential cool new options that are out of the norm of the top 6 decks that we are most likely going to see featured across tournaments as the most popular picks, which are Mew, Lugia, Lost Box, Giratina, Miraidon, and Gardevoir. This is an option that I am very interested in trying out. I feel like the beginning of it might be a little clunky, and I'm also not a big fan of the 3 price liabilities that playing VMAXs entails, but maybe I'm wrong. And so far in the online tournament scene, the deck has started doing quite well and has actually gotten already some good placements and some good wins. So we're gonna give the deck a try, and hopefully we will get to start grinding up the PTCG Live ladder, getting some cool rewards, and getting some cool games in. Now, as far as the list goes, I did go over it in the other video, but it does focus on INTELEON VMAX, mostly in order to apply pressure and utilize the ability to place damage counters on your opponent's side of the field. You also have Rapid Strike URSHIFU VMAX pressuring the bench as well with GMAX Rapid Flow and being able to eliminate threats. Manaphy does seem like it's being played a little less, but INTELEON VMAX's ability does help you in potentially removing Manaphy, especially when you are able to move where the damage counters go thanks to Radiant Alakazam's ability. Now, Octillery's ability, Rapid Strike Search, of course, is very useful as you get to search for the Rapid Strike pieces, so very important to set that up. And then we have other cool attackers such as Starmie, Drapion, and Medicham to help us with those clutch situations where we need to punish an opponent that could really with energies with Starmie V. We have Drapion against Mew, of course, and then we also have Medicham V to potentially give us extra turns and hopefully make some cool, convoluted, and complicated plays that are almost like puzzles that we all love to do. Now, supporters-wise, 1 copy of Cheryl only. We don't have the INTELEON VMAX, the regular INTELEON to search those out to abuse with the INTELEON VMAX, but the rest of the supporters should be pretty self-explanatory. Research and Melanie to draw and power up. Karina's focus as a searchable supporter thanks to it being a Rapid Strike card by Octillery, and Irida helps us very nicely to help our setup. We do play a lot of water Pokemon, and if we use it on turn 1, it can fetch us a water Pokemon and that Val VIP pass that we can then use to further establish our board. Clara for some Pokemon recovery, Roxanne for some disruption, and then we have Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, and the Heavy Ball to help us in setting up and finding the right Pokemon for the right situation. Switching Guard and Escape Rope, Energy Recovery with Energy Retrieval, so I can use INTELEON VMAX's ability over and over, and then Forest Seal Stone acting as our V-Star ability to help us set up and find the card that we need at that specific moment, whether it's for setup, whether it's to close out the game in the late game. Forest Seal Stone, a fantastic card. And then finally, Tower of Waters helps us in synergizing with URSHIFU's first attack and being able to freely retreat our Rapid Strike Pokemon and make sure we're attacking with the right Pokemon to defeat our opponent. 7 Water Energy to have attachments and have them spare for INTELEON VMAX's ability, and of course Rapid Strike Energy, the most crucial energy of the deck, covering the attack cost of both Rapid Strike URSHIFU VMAX and INTELEON VMAX, as it is a water plus fighting. Let's jump into some games, shall we? If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 20% off for your superfoods at Amaranthi. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. And so, after a very long time that I haven't done this, let's jump into some games, shall we? I was very decided to record live gameplay at one point, but then afterwards I decided against it and I would continue PTGO. Then we had this long PTCGO break, and I did give it the goodbye it deserved. Maybe one day I'll do. I feel like I can go through YouTube comments in order to find like good videos to do a compilation of like Tablemon's best and worst moments on PTGO or Tablemon's angriest moments on PTGO. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so very bad hand, honestly. Very, very bad hand. I guess I'll pressure with 100 Furious Blows right here. A Remoraid would definitely fix this, and my opponent did go first as well. And we're up against Lugia. So Lugia V-Star, of course, a very powerful deck. In an ideal world, you would be able to like use double INTELEON VMAX ability and then use Rapid Strike to eliminate both of the friends, both of the Archeops, right? That would be pretty cool. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bench, definitely benching this. And then sort of tempted to use the rope, but I wouldn't have dealt any damage with Strafe anyways, right? Because of the resistance, so not a big deal. I guess my opponent's play at this point would be to go bench Luminion, Professor Burnett, and Evolve, but actually, they do not have that. So they do discard Choice Belt. And, alright, still in a pretty awful spot overall. Maybe Aqua Bullet would have been better. Sure. Just 100 Furious Blow, which unfortunately does only 19. It's nice that that live shows you the full damage, but I did have someone the other day that was playing live and was very confused as to the damage overall. Does finally evolve. It gets the regenerative energy, and oh my gosh. What? Okay. Who needs Archeops, right? Who needs Archeops? Okay. So we're gonna go like this. Wow. What a start. And my Luminion is prized on top of everything. So you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and concede this one and move on to the next game. All right, let's try once more. Now, one of the biggest feedbacks that I got and why I also took a big break was that people don't like when I rage a lot, right? So I'm gonna do my best to keep my emotions in check, make sure that I laugh genuinely when things go wrong, enjoy when things are going right, and try to keep the salt and the raging to a minimum. And of course, if you feel like that is still continuing, definitely let me know. And I will continue to try to do my best to stop that. Okay, so it is the Meloetta version of Mew VMAX, which is a little scary. Not the worst though. Overall, hopefully they don't get the KO, but if they do, then not much I can actually do about this. Nice that we're playing against powerful top 6 decks. Deox is definitely not a common inclusion index, but the Photon Boost can do a good amount of damage and does fit the deck nicely as a single price Pokemon, so I would not be surprised to see Deoxys see more play. That energy attachment confirms that we are not getting KO'd this turn, which is pretty good. Yeah, then I'll be able to pressure with INTELEON VMAX next turn. I can Irida for the Octillery, and we'll see what else. And then the Octillery finds the INTELEON. Oh, actually, I'm missing the energy. So I guess I can Irida for Octillery plus the Ultra Ball, and then that gets me all 3. Then I can start doing some damage, get more HP. I'll have the Cheryl heal for next turn. So things are looking pretty good so far. Except, what? 3 choice spells? What is going on? And why does a Genesect have a choice spell? Oh boy, okay, well, never mind. We're 1 power tablet away from my opponent KOing me unless they played it already. No, there it is. Oh wait, no, yeah, it's just enough damage. Wow. Triple choice build Mew VMAX deck. And we got the INTELEON, of course. Okay, so there's nothing, literally nothing I can do to that Deoxys. I think I'm still gonna Irida here. And I'm gonna grab this, and then with the nest ball, gonna have to potentially, like, I'm gonna have to find an INTELEON and then establish a Remoraid as well and sacrifice that. And like, I could respond with Drapion, but then I'm just losing the Drapion anyway, so I'm not a big fan of that. So, all right, I'm gonna go Octillery. We are going to Rapid Strike Search for an INTELEON V. And clearly that can go down. And then we will establish not an INTELEON V, establish another Remoraid, and give that up. Does dealing 10 ever matter? No, it does not. All right, then we're going to play the Tower of Waters. We're going to retreat. And we will end the turn. Okay, so if my opponent doesn't have boss, we're fine. If they do have boss, I'm going to have to give up again. And based on the previous turn where they had absolutely everything, basic energy as well. What is going on? And that is a hit. There it is. Okay, so I don't know what to say. On to the next game. All right, so we lose a coin flip. My opponent will decide, and there's no clear indicator of who ends up going first after they decide, which is an area of opportunity for Pokemon TCG Live. And yeah, not off to a great start with this deck. I know these haven't been like the most exciting games overall in terms of trying to showcase the deck, and that's what a lot of people are here for. But I also know that one of the things that, or one of the characteristics that distinguishes my videos from other people's is that I show everything. Yeah, when things go wrong, when things go right, how to get out of bad spots, how to maximize the good ones. Yeah. So hopefully that is something that people enjoy and appreciate. Okay, so I'm going second. And with this hand, the only way I can draw cards is if I retreat, discarding the water, and then Melanie. So I'm actually going to start the Remoraid for that specific reason. All right. And then my opponent did mulligan, and we're up against a Mew VMAX deck with Psychic Energies and Lucky Energy. So we clearly need to grind up our elo to face off against more meta-looking decks. The fact that non-meta-looking decks are completely rolling over us is not a good indicator for this deck in particular. Yeah. All right. So my opponent being a little slow on the setup. So we're going to send a question mark face, whatever that is. Like, what is going on? Why is it taking so long? Or maybe they're just like dealing with some crashes, bugs. I really don't know. This 6-0 counter is weird. Is this the prices, I'm guessing? So like they've taken 0. Oh no, they haven't set up any, I guess. I don't know why this is taking so long. I really don't. I think my opponent might just be AFK. Alright, yeah, 6 to 6. Right, I do want the mulligan. That is a nice card to get. And that is a Mew. So I wonder if my opponent's just gonna exhaust the time and pass. I feel like that's what's going on here. So we're gonna continue to spam the question mark to try and draw their attention to the game. I wish you could like bust them or ping them or something. Yep, not much else to do here. All right, and I also wanted to reposition the pull-down store over on this side because the lost zone shows up over here, right? And that way we have some nice cover for all this dead space. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna win this because my opponent is AFK. So I will go ahead and cut the video here, jump into the next game so you don't have to watch me wait until I win this. All right, that took way longer than I would have liked it to, but here we are with our next game. All good. Hopefully this opponent is not away from the keyboard. Doesn't seem like they are. And my opponent won the coin flip once again. I don't think I've won the coin flip in all 4 of these games, even against an opponent that was not present. All right. Ooh, starting Drapion, unless, even if this is Mew, rather. Even if this is Mew, starting Drapion, never a good call. We are going second, so at least we got a write-off for Battle VIP Pass plus Remoraid. That would actually set us up very nicely for the rest of the game. But we'll see. Okay. Superior V. That is not a common deck to see. That's for sure. I do like the grass, though. I mean, the effect, I don't know. It looks cool. I'll give them that. But the grass and the wind. Heal 30 damage from each Pokemon. Okay. Alright, opponent, you gotta... There we go. Alrighty, so we get Radiant Exam. We're gonna go right for the Remoraid, and please not be priced. There we go. Right. And we're gonna go ahead and battle VIP pass right here. Establish the INTELEON. Could establish URSHIFU. Right. Yeah, I kind of like establishing URSHIFU. Either Pokemon is weak to grass, which is obviously very good. Then we're gonna go ahead and bench you, and then we're gonna use this energy to the URSHIFU, because next turn we are researching and doing 20 damage to the Swablu feels a little inconsequential. Radiant Exam could prove useful to eliminate like an extra threat somehow, or fix some numbers against the active. We'll see. We'll see. But I also like the fact that I threatened the VMAX Rapid Flow on support Pokemon already. Alright, there's a Superior V. 60 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Needs 3 energy still. Could use a double turbo, that's for sure. And we see Gardenia's Vigor. Gardenia's Vigor, people saw that and were like, oh no, Welder is back. And then Gardenia's Vigor never saw successful tournament play, so clearly Welder wasn't back. Alright. So, oof, that Melanie top deck is actually very unfortunate. Out of all the cards I could have top decked, that was definitely the least good. Okay, with the first Seal Stone, I will be able to retreat. And I did just lose the Cheryl. So what I could do is do 120 and 120 to a Superior. And then hopefully knock it out the turn after by establishing the other URSHIFU, which is in fact prized, so never mind. Okay, so all right, let's just establish the other INTELEON then. Okay, so this needs to be the switching card, correct? So we're gonna start alchemy, or the rope. The rope sounds pretty good. Yeah, the rope is actually the better card. So then I must evolve first before playing the rope, of course. And that way I get to Gale Thrust that poor Superior for the full amount of damage, and then I threaten game with VMAX Rapid Flow afterwards. So you can see how sequencing is not crucial, hyper crucial in this deck for sure. This ground or fighting background is also pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. The general sentiment towards live has been, when it's bad, it's bad. But 80-ish% of the time, it's actually pretty playable, right? So that's nice. Okay, so we're definitely not winning next turn. Wait, how did they do 60? Oh, they V-starred. Okay, now they just retreated, not realizing that I can just knock them out wherever. They also didn't use Tempting Tune last turn to establish a supporter at the top of their deck preemptively, so that's a big oversight from my opponent. Yeah, seems like I'm gonna have to grind the ladder off screen quite a bit, honestly, in order to try and face good enough opponents, honestly. Wow. And they just put a supporter at the top of their deck with Tempting Tune, and then they just reshuffled their deck, so they will not be drawing the boss's order. So yeah, definitely need to grind up my account quite a bit in order to make sure that we go up against better opponents. Not better opponents, more experienced opponents. Yeah, everyone, we all started at one point in a situation like this one. So yeah, we were all beginners at one point. All right, there's a double knockout, which is fantastic. That is a 3-prize turn. So we'll take one prize, then check for the next knockout, then take the other two. Sure thing. Works. Better to be safe than sorry, right? Better to be safe than sorry. All right. And we get Roxanne, which is quite okay. Might delay the win by a turn. My opponent's options are trip over. I mean, they could establish more stuff, right? But nope, they just pass. So unfortunately, we cannot win just yet. But, well, there's a chance I could draw the right cards to win here. Very low chance, but still a chance. I'm not going to grab that prize. Going to go ahead and use my... Oh, it's only to the bench. Never mind. All right, let's just go use that. And alrighty. So we're still in a spot where we can... Oh, no, we can't. We can't win next turn by searching for the Rapid Strike Energy and knocking out Crooked Rod and whenever they do end up benching. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. There's a Superior. Well, the game will go on. Not much to analyze here. The deck so far on paper looks really cool. Having played 4 games with it against not hyper meta decks or hyper... I mean, maybe the first Lugia V-Star was a hyper competitive deck. It did have choice builds, which is not a common occurrence for Lugia decks. The Mew deck had triple choice build Psychic Energies and Deoxys, so also not super common. So overall, probably not the most competitive. Okay, so now this has extra 50 HP. Jeez. This is horrible. I don't know. Deck doesn't feel great, not gonna lie. That's the reality of it. Deck does not feel great. Like you need so many moving pieces essentially. And look, I'm not doing anything this turn either. Yeah. Like I can take double knockouts next turn potentially. Miltank is annoying. Thankfully there's 3 Pokemon that I can knock out total, but Miltank is definitely annoying to deal with. And they got rid of my stadium, which is not very nice. So at least the game goes on. Probably not gonna play another game with this deck. Unfortunately, not the best showcase, I know. But overall, I mean, I really need to grind the ladder before I sit down to record more games, clearly. I really need to do that. That is now our #1 goal. Or our PTCG live again. My opponent just benching everything. In a weird world, my opponent might have had a situation where Miltank won the game, but that is not this world. Jeez. What a game. Okay, that's actually a very cool top deck. Okay, so we're gonna grab the Tower of Waters. We are going to go ahead and play that. It's gonna commit, I guess, to the thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and retreat. Promote URSHIFU and then VMAX Rapid Flow, targeting down you and you. That seems fairly good. So we'll get a prize card, not a good one. Now these should have less HP. Yeah, I was gonna say, uh-oh. Should have less HP, which it does. So now I need a Boss's Orders top deck in order to win the game. Not very likely for that to happen. So we just get a pass from my opponent. Just gonna go ahead and do this. And it's not worth using the energy. They do need that. Sure, let's go ahead and evolve. I already V-starred, yep. And we will Gale Frost and then be angry. But then we just win next turn, so it's all good. But yeah, I mean, against a competitive deck, this would have been a harsh loss, I feel. A very harsh loss, and just like, oh, very convoluted, and then you're getting judged, your stadium's getting countered, like, things are happening, right? We're only winning this because my opponent's playing a very underpowered deck and is literally not doing anything. Literally not doing anything here. And I was gonna click to use to beat CGO, and I should not have clicked on the Altaria because then it's just adding unnecessary animations, maybe. Will it make me choose a 7th prize? Will it declare me the winner? Okay. All right, so not much to analyze overall. Not a fan of how the deck played out initially. 4 games is not a big sample size, for sure, but I can't picture how things would go smoother unless you got like a constant flow of supporters, which is never guaranteed, right? So questionable. Maybe this isn't a hidden gem after all. I have seen it pop up quite a bit, and initially over at the Limitless online tournaments, it did start featuring and doing really well. Why that is, I don't know. After these 4 games, the deck looked better on paper than it actually played out, but I will be playing more with it to get a better feel and most likely feature an updated video for this deck in the near future. Thank you so much. Very happy to be back, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.